Eshadada Henda Waleabo Tenu, Abiago Mapias Kapabiako, Kakwados, Wishamega Kwados, Balushamega Rolamae, Wishamane, Shara, Shabbat, Soya, Shabbat, like Doro Tam, Benimora, Baby, Baby, Shara, Otilola, Kisha Shek, Masa, Eshadaiwa, Shemai, where the Ades, Kumayo must be, Shabbat, Wayakas, Balushmega, Balukimega, Baluturateka, Balukimushateka. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Lokolamai, Barusha Kaboma Kutolamai, Barukabo Ring Mo Lekenyo, Hallelujah. First of all, I'd like to give all honor and praise to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the great mighty revered God, the Most High God, who bestows loving kindness and possesses all things, who remembers the pious deeds of the patriarchs. The Most High, slow of anger, great kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, but who by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquities of fathers upon children to the third and fourth generation. The Most High's work is perfect for all ways of justice, a God of faithfulness and without iniquity, just and righteous. ABC. Giving due, first of all, I'd like to give all honor and praise, giving due respect to my father, Chief of Liaison, to the chiefmen, princes, brothers and sisters, mother in Israel. I say unto you with the tongue of my forefathers, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom Lekah.
Pride is the beginning of sin.
Yeah.
I said pride is the beginning of sin. If you don't remove pride from yourself, you will continue down that path that God hates and despises. You will continue in the path that's not accepted by God. What's going to cause you to continue walking down that path that's not accepted by God is pride. Seeking humility and meekness and being humble is the beginning of righteousness. So if you're not meek, why do you think God appeared to Moses? You think you don't see what it was? Think it was a coincidence? Why God appeared unto Moses? Because there was no man on the face of the earth that was more meek and humble like unto Moses. He was so meek that God spoke about it. He said, "Man, there is no man on earth was as meek and humble as Moses." And by Moses being so meek and humble, humility, he appeared to him in a burning bush. He appeared to him in a burning bush that wasn't being consumed. It was on fire. He said, the bush is on fire. He said, but the bush is not being consumed. He said, wow, God did that to draw his attention. So when he went, God spoke to him. He said, where you standing at, old boy, it's holy ground. Remove your shoes off your feet. See, in order for God to show interest in us, in order for God to guide us, we must show interest in God first. The first step, so that God can show interest in you. So how do we show interest in God? Prayers. A person that prays, that send up them prayers. A person that's reading with a purpose. You pray and read with a purpose. That's the purpose. My purpose of reading this book is to clean my ways. My purpose of sending up these prayers is to clean my ways. My purpose of reading this book so I can see and realize how our forefathers thought. How the thinking pattern of these godly men, the mindset of the godly men in this book, the mindset of the godly woman in this book. We think it's a game. That's how you do it? Okay. Stop being stubborn, woman. Stop being stubborn, men. The woman accept it. Why you don't accept it? These are the women that God approve of. The men accept it while you don't accept it. These are the men that God approve of. So why we have a hard time approving and accepting the things that God accepts? What's wrong with us, man? What's wrong with us? You know why we can't accept it? You know why we buck it? You know why we got an and, if, or but in it? Because what the brother just said was pride. I can't accept my husband with another woman because I had pride in me. And guess what? You're selfish. Sarah wasn't selfish. She didn't say that was my man. She said, I cannot conceive. God has barren me and made me barren to where I can't conceive seed for my husband. That was her desire. Well, if the child didn't come through my legs, it's going to come from between somebody's legs. Just so that my husband can have a son. Just so that for the purpose of my husband to have a son. You see the mindset? I said, hey. I said, do we see the mindset of these women? We got a job to do. Women, we got a job to do. Men. I said, we have a big job to do. And it will never be complete until you die. It's a lifetime job. This job is never complete. This is a constant job, a life job. Come on, man. Let's go to Psalms. Let's go to Psalms 101. You got it, brother?
Psalms chapter 101.
Psalms chapter 101.
I will sing of mercy and judgment. Unto thee, O Lord, will I sing.
This man is a gun-hole. He gun-hole for God, man. I say he gun-hole for God. He said, I will sing of mercy and judgment. Unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. He said, I wrote songs dedicated to God. I said, he wrote songs dedicated to God. You see his mind frame? He wrote songs dedicated to God. And by him writing these songs that was dedicated to God, a godly thought came into his mind. A godly thought came to his mind to preserve and build a house for the name of God. He said, even though this house cannot contain thee, he said, the heavens cannot contain thee. He said, but this is your house, O Lord. This is your house. I said, this is your house. And as long as this house stands here, when we face this house, he said, here. Solomon said, that those words was powerful words. He made a deal with God, man. He said, as long as this house is here, if your people turn towards this house, he said, here. Oh, my gosh. You know what that means, man? Regardless.
Regardless. That's what it means. Regardless.
There you go. Regardless of what or how the person is. Yeah. When they turn towards this house, he said, hero.
He's a hero.
And God accepted. Why? Well, how you know God accepted? Fire came down from heavens and sucked up the offering. So God said, okay, man, I got you, Solomon, the beloved of God. He said, regardless of how the person is. That's what that means, man. Once they turn to that house and pray, because when we turn to God wholeheartedly, and they turn towards that house wholeheartedly, that person has some type of good in him to where he looked at himself and he saw the fault within himself. He saw the guilt and he felt the guilt within himself, which caused him to have a conscience, which caused him to bend the knee before God. So Solomon said, hey, man, he said, when this God turned towards this place, he said, hearken. He said, here. Most High named the man. I said, God named that man. His father named him Solomon. God looked at him. He said, nah, that's Jedediah. So I'm going to name you Jedediah, my beloved. Beloved of God, man. Yedidiah. We playing with God. We playing around. We got big shoes to walk in. I said we had some big shoes to fill up. I may not be able to walk in their shoes, but I'm a damn sure try. I'm a damn sure try by following everything in this book that is godly and righteous, that God accepts. I don't know about nobody else. I can only do me. I can only watch me. That's it, man. This ain't no game, man. This ain't no game. Let's read. Now, hold up. The word mercy. He said, I will sing of mercy and judgment unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. Now, mercy means what? Mercy is compassion or forbearance shown especially to an offender. Shown to a person that violates. Now, God is a God of compassion. He hears your cries in sincerity, sees your pain. He is slow to anger, abounding in love, and will not desert you.
Okay.
Will not abandon you.
Okay.
What does abounding means? Very plentiful in love.
Okay.
Forbearance is patience, self-control, restraints, and tolerance. That's God.
Yeah.
I said God had forbearance. He was patient with the people.
Yeah.
He controlled, look, his anger. He had self-control. He had restraint and tolerance. You know who else was like that? Moses. Moses was just like that.
Very patient.
Very patient. Self-control, restraint, and tolerance. Come on, man. Tom C.
Verse 2. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way.
I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. I will behave myself wisely. Askila means prudent and circumspect. So now let's learn what prudent is. What it means to be prudent. I will behave myself in a prudent way. Prudent is the act with careful judgment and foresight. Let's get into the other definition. First definition. Prudent is when you are able to govern yourself. Prudent is when you are able to discipline yourself. But you can't discipline yourself. You know why we can't discipline ourselves? Because we can't accept discipline from others. The only time you will be able to discipline yourself, you must be able to accept discipline from others. When people come to chastise you, when people come to rebuke you, when people come to show you your faults, accept it. Now you can discipline yourself. This thing here is a domino effect. I must complete this to get this.
It's a domino effect.
I gotta complete this to get this out here. You're not gonna jump the gun, Sam. You can't govern yourself because you don't allow no one else to discipline you.
Domino effect.
All right? Prudent also is what? To act with careful judgment. You know what careful judgment is? We're gonna get real deep now. Is this person or what this person did calls for this? I said to act with careful judgment.
Does it call?
You know what it means, careful judgment? Did your actions call for this?
Does it match that?
Did it match it? The person did this, and this, and this. And you go and jump above your preachers. And you better be careful, man.
Judgment on
that God don't accept. That wasn't written in the book.
That's it.
It's not in the book. okay that judgment.
Yes, sir.
He said a prudent person acts with careful judgment and foresight, avoiding unnecessary risk. Huh? Avoiding unnecessary risk. You know what that means? Huh? I see from my actions
What's
it's gonna
gonna
bring is what it's gonna bring.
Yeah.
This by me doing this is gonna bring this.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Making a sensible decision,
Mm-hmm.
a decision that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? A decision that makes sense by God, not sense by you.
No.
Because my sense is off.
It's more.
Make it clear.
I have to make sense according to God's sense.
That's right.
Godly sense, godly decisions. It means being cautious and thoughtful in your actions and choices.
Uh-oh.
I said it means to be cautious and thoughtful in your actions and choices.
Uh-oh.
Watch what you do. And watch what you do. Be cautious, man. Watch your thoughts. Huh? 4 concepts of a prudent person. I said there's 4 concepts of a prudent person. A prudent person. What makes up a prudent person?
Uh-oh.
A prudent person is cautious. A prudent person has foresight. A prudent person has good judgment. A prudent person is circumspect. Huh? I said a prudent person is cautious. Prudence often involves being cautious and avoiding unnecessary risk. You don't take risks with your life. You don't take risks dealing with the laws and the commandments of God.
I've always said
Huh? What is foresight? A prudent person thinks ahead. I said a prudent person thinks ahead and anticipate potential problems or consequences.
Something that could happen.
If I do this,
could
this may trigger this. If I do this over here, that may trigger that. That's foresight, because a person with foresight thinks ahead. He just don't move and do things and then just no. You have to think about consequences. The godly man in this book thought like this.
Yeah.
This is how our forefathers thought. Huh? Good judgment is prudence requires the ability to make sound decisions based on information and circumstances. And what is circumspect? To be wary and unwilling to take risk. Careful to consider what might happen concerning your actions and your words. Time sheet.
I will behave myself wisely in a perfect
I will
way.
behave myself wisely in a perfect way. Huh? Okay.
Oh, when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart.
I will. That's deep, man. This is deep, man. Huh? So when I go in my house, I gotta have a perfect mindset. I gotta have a perfect heart, a perfect mindset, a perfect thoughts concerning God, concerning God, and guess what else? Concerning you.
Keep it up.
Huh? Because if I have a perfect mindset concerning God, I'm not going to slander you. Everything else falls into play. I said everything else falls into play. What is a perfect mind? Or what is a perfect mindset or perfect thoughts? Huh? A perfect heart is a responsive heart. And his actions and is action orientated and chooses to change for good, not having excuses for your own faults. You don't make excuses for your faults. You don't make excuses for your violations. Because if we continue to make excuses for our own faults, then you won't acknowledge that you was wrong. You're not going to change. You're not going to acknowledge your faults. You're not going to see your faults that you can make the repairs. See, having a conscience, it means to make amends.
Allows you to make amends.
It means to make amends.
Repair it, man.
You got to repair these things, man. Okay? Because we are at fault with God. We have to be action orientated by improving before God, willing to take action to deal with a problem or situation. Tom sheet.
Verse 3.
Verse 3.
I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes.
I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. To set one's mind to give heed to, or attention to. I will not give heed to this. I will not give attention to this. Wait a minute. So when orgies pop up on the movie, I gotta turn the channel. I turn the TV. I don't want to see two women laying up in the bed. I said, I don't want to watch two women getting down. I don't want to watch two men getting down.
I don't even want to see them talking.
I don't want to see none of that. Because when you watch these things, you set your mind to, you give heed to, you give attention to these things.
Right.
Why do you think my father said? He said, I don't watch movies and none of that stuff no more. He said, I watch the news, Discovery Channel, Sandwich Channel, and after that, the law. Why? Because of for what? For what? Tom sheet. No, hold up. He said, I will set what? Read that verse over.
I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes.
I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes.
I hate the work of them that turn aside.
I hate the work of them that turn aside. I hate what you do that is against God. I despise what you're doing that is against God. I don't hate you, but I hate your work. And I hate what you're doing. So by me hating what you're doing is going to cause me to separate. That's why Samuel looked at Saul. He said, man, God despised you. But he never said, I despised you.
No.
Samuel said, God despised you. He hates you right now. So I got to diss. I can't pray. He asked him to pray with him. He said, yo, Samuel. See, King Saul respected Samuel, man. Everybody feared Samuel. When Samuel popped up, they asked Samuel, said, man, is it peace?
Yep.
Everything good? Everything good. So King Saul asked Samuel, he said, man, pray with me, man. You know why? You know why he asked Samuel to pray with him? Because it means something in the heavens because I'm praying with a man that God accepts.
Yeah.
That's why most of the time when my father back, I said, Abba, you praying?
Hey,
I said, I'm coming to pray with you, Abba.
Me too.
Because I need my praise. I know. I seen the lifestyle of my father.
Yeah.
And I seen how God dealt with him. And just by how I seen how God dealt with him, I knew he was accepted. So when he bowed, he said, man, I'm about to pray. I'm about to say, Minka, I'm about to set up my offering. Abba, you about to pray. Up, let me get up. Let me come pray with you, Abba. And I bend down and I pray with him. That's the man you want to pray with. So he said, look at me and said, when he look at you and say, he angry with you, he said, I ain't praying with y'all. I said, guess what? You know what come next? Man, I ain't praying either. I ain't praying either, man. Oh, you ain't praying with me? I ain't praying.
That's a fact.
That's what Saul did.
That's what I did.
He said, yo, man. King Saul looked at Samuel and said, man, worship with me, man. He said, basically, if you don't worship with me, I'm not going up. I'm not going to worship without you. He said, man, come on, man. Honor me now in the sight of the people. And when Samuel thought about that, he said, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to allow these people to see two heads clashing, dissension between two heads. Certain things the people don't need to know about, man. Certain things the people don't need to know about. And that was one.
They said, no, God against you.
That was one of the downfalls of our camps.
Yeah.
That was one of our downfalls in our past camps, where heads would be clashing, and the whole congregation know what's going on. No, man. No. He said, I set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside.
It shall not cleave.
It shall not cleave to me. Now, I hate the work of them that turn aside. Debar Belial. Right? That was verse 3. I was setting no wicked thing. Right? Where verse 3 at? Lord, right, there you go. Oh my goodness. Law Ashit Neged. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. Dabar is a word for wicked thing, is Dabar Belial. A worthless thing, a worthless matter, worthless, a worthless thing, an evil thing, or an evil matter.
Anything evil.
Anything that's evil and ungodly, I don't want nothing to do with it. Even as it goes with matters and situations. Matters and situations that people get into that's not godly, that is ungodly. People is doing things that's, listen. Go ahead, Tom C.
Verse 4.
Verse 4.
A forward heart shall depart from me.
A forward heart shall depart from you.
I will not.
The word for forward is Ikesh. Ayin Kuf Shin. Ikesh means a crooked or a perverse mind. A crooked or a perverse mindset. Okay? What is a perverse heart or perverse mind? A perverse heart is deliberate. You know what deliberate is? You did it on purpose. You did it on purpose, and you did this on purpose and didn't even think about your actions or words, whether it was right and accepted by God. See, a perverse heart or a perverse mind do things and say things without considering if God accepted.
Yeah.
Woo! Now you know if you're if you have a perverse heart. You see how deep this is, man? Which means we can't do things and say things deliberately, on purpose, not considering or being mindful of what you're doing or what you're saying if it's accepted by God.
Action or word.
Which means when things come to your mind to say certain things, stop yourself in the tracks and say, I shouldn't say this. Even though he's wrong, even though she's wrong, I don't need to put myself in their bracket. I don't need to be like you.
That's right.
I'm going to pull back.
Not going down to your level.
Listen, man, these are keys, man. These are keys. These are keys of a godly mindset. These are keys of how the righteous thought. This is the mentality of the righteous. A perfect heart is deliberate and obstinate, and an obstinate desire to behave in a way that is unreasonable and unacceptable with selfish motives.
Don't care.
What is a crooked heart? A crooked heart occurs when we violate our conscience. I said a crooked heart violates your You know what your conscience is? Your conscience, we all have conscience. Your conscience is what guides you towards righteousness. Your conscience comes to you and say, man, don't say that. Your conscience comes to you and say, man, don't do that. For that very split second, you knew you was not supposed to say that. But because I was in the height of my emotions, I said it anyway, disregarding of who I was going to hurt, disregarding of who I was going to offend, or what's going to happen. What was going to look. So when we violate our conscience, it means what? To do something that you believe is morally wrong, which cause you to sin against God. So when you do things that is morally wrong, you sin against God. Morals. Morals are principles that God accepts. The way God, an acceptable way that God wants us to be, man. Let's read.
A forward heart shall depart.
Now, hold on. I'm sorry. So a perverse heart is also an obstinate desire. An obstinate desire stubbornly adhering to one's purpose, opinion, disrespect of limits. He don't have no boundaries. He's reckless. He has no boundaries. He has no limits. Tom, see?
A forward heart shall depart from me.
Uh-huh.
I will not know a wicked person.
Wait a minute. A froward heart shall depart from me. Okay? What it means to be froward? We went a bit over that, didn't we? Right? Yes, we did. A froward heart shall depart from me. Uh-huh.
I will not know a wicked person.
In the Hebrew, it don't say I will not know a wicked person. He said, I will not know evil.
Oh,
It must hold some type of weight in the heavens with God. While David said, I don't want to have the knowledge of wickedness. I don't want to have the knowledge of evil. And remember now, this is what God was trying to prevent from the beginning. In the time of Adam and Eve, God gave them a tree that gives life. He said, of all these trees you can eat, man, these trees will give you life. This is the tree of life. He said, but that specific tree that's in the midst of the garden, he said, don't eat from it. God said, don't even touch it, because in the day that you eat from it, thou shalt surely die. So when she ate it, her eyes was open. Open to what? General view. You know what general view is? I think like everybody else.
hey, Chief Shaman, what I used to always say,
What?
I ain't supposed to be thinking this way.
That's right.
He said, why I'm thinking this way?
Mhm.
He said, why I thought came to me. That's it right there.
That's right.
The evil thought.
When she ate from that tree of knowledge of good and evil, it said her eyes was open to general view, which means it must mean something when a person thinks like you.
Mhm.
When you start thinking like them, you can't serve God.
Oh.
We got to change our mindset. I can't see your mindset. You know what your mindset is? Your heart. You know what your mindset is? Your insides. I said your inside, man. We have to change from within first. The outside is easy to change. It's easy for me to put on the garment. It's easy to change that, my father used to say. He said, I can change the outside. He said, but what we need to change is our inside.
They have the outside.
We have the outside.
Most I said, but your ways.
Let's read. Where we at?
Verse 5.
Verse 5.
Whoso privately slandereth his neighbor.
Whoso privately slander his neighbor. You know what slander is? We got to be careful, because we say a lot of things that's not right. That's not true. Slander is a false oral statement about someone that damages his character. What God said, what King David said about slander?
Him will I cut off.
Uh-oh. The Hebrew word for cut off, it means to destroy. I said the Hebrew word for cut off, it means to destroy. So if we continue to slander, God is going to destroy you. You're going to be, see, God shows us how we cut ourselves off. Huh?
Oh, man.
Stop slandering the other Israelites.
Yeah.
Stop talking about these people, man.
Oh, man.
Stop. Because as long as you continue to talk against them and slander them, which is a false oral statement that you don't even have the truth about.
Oh, man.
You don't have the basis. You don't have the truth. Don't slander my name. And find out the truth first. Then when you find out the truth, then you can talk. You can't circumspect. You can't speculate. I don't have time to circumspect and speculate and guess. Well, he was the only one there. He must have did it. You slandered. Nah, man, I think he did it. I think you're slandering. Be careful. Be careful. Because we're going to get ourselves destroyed with God. What is God going to destroy? You lived out all your life. You lived out most of your days. Come on, man. Let's read. Verse
Him
5.
that hath a high look and
Uh-huh.
a proud heart will not I succor.
A proud heart. A proud heart believes he deserves better. Come on, man. Why you doing this to me? I'll be doing this. I do this. I do that. Don't treat me. You have a proud heart. And finds himself worthy. Moses said, who am I? He didn't look at himself as worthy. He said, who am I? That's how meek and humble this man was. He said, who am I to go before Moses? To go before Pharaoh, excuse me. Who am I to go before Pharaoh?
He didn't feel entitled.
He didn't feel entitled. He didn't look at himself as a head honcho. Man, God spoke to me. No, that's not the way.
So who's me?
I said, that's not the way. I said, a proud heart is full of pride and excessive self-esteem.
Relax, bro.
Come on, man. A prideful person is someone that exhibits excessive self-esteem, arrogance, lack of humility, self-centered, when only their needs and desires matters. When only your needs and your desires matters. At the expense of others. Which means your needs and desires are met. But this person is feeling the negative effect.
Negative effect.
They're feeling the negative effect by your desires being met. So now the godly mindset is supposed to come to you and say, well, my desires is being met, but I'm hurting this person by my desires. It even goes as so deep as this. I said I was hot. I'm hot. And I don't like this fan. The fan in his room is better. But he needs the fan because he breaks out in hives. So I put myself and say, you know what? I'm going to take the heat and use this little bit of fan and give it to him. That's the mindset we need to have. We can't do the law if we continue to think about self. See, basically, you have to sacrifice for someone else to benefit. You sacrifice yourself for someone else to benefit. You don't want to benefit while this person is feeling negative effects by you benefiting. This is why my father said, he sat down, he said, man, I'm hot. But if the people is cold, he said, I'm cold. But if the people is hot, cut the AC on. That's not a selfish mindset. And this is the mentality that we need to serve God. I said we need that mentality to serve God. I have to be more on point with myself because now it comes at you in different angles. It ain't going to come to you in that angle no more. It come to you in different angles where you continue to think about yourself. I don't got that 100% correct. This is why we got to be on point with ourselves. I ain't got it 100%. Because now, after you don't perfected one aspect of it, it comes to you in a different form.
Different form.
A different form. Now I got to perfect this. And hope that God is going to keep coming.
It's a lifelong.
It's going to keep coming, man.
Lifelong.
Top sheet.
Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the
Wait,
land.
hold up. I'm sorry. Tendency to think highly of oneself that causes you to look down on others. Go ahead, speak.
Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land.
Wait a minute. Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land. Was that Psalms? Was that verse? What verse is that?
6.
He said, mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land.
Who's the faithful of the land?
Who is the faithful of the land?
Mm-hmm.
God said his attention is towards the faithful.
Uh-oh.
That's what that means.
Uh-oh.
God said, I will turn mine eyes towards the faithful.
I would just say that.
Abel was regarded by God. I said Abel was regarded by God
That's right.
because the man had godly ways about him. God tried the heart of this man and saw nothing but godliness inside of Abel. And because God saw nothing but godliness inside of Abel, he led him and guided him towards offering up the right thing. The offerings was not set up yet. But because Abel had righteousness in him, he was guided towards sending up the flocks and the fat of blood and animals. It was Cain's idea, man. But whatever it was that God did not regard about him, it had to do something with his inside, what God saw in him. These are things that God don't reveal. He didn't reveal it. Because if he revealed it, believe me.
He didn't reveal why he didn't sell.
No. Now, what is faithful? Faithful, it means steadfast with God. Showing firm allegiance, commitment to God. What is commitment? Commitment is obligations that restricts freedom of actions. Whatever you are obligated to will restrict you from doing this. So if you're obligated to God, it will restrict me. I will have restrictions.
Right.
No, I can't move like that because
Right.
God hated it.
Right.
No, I can't do this because God hated it. No, I must do this because I was commanded by God to do this. The obligations must be to God. And when your obligation is to God,
That's
now
right.
you have restrictions.
That's right.
Now you have restrictions.
That's when the restrictions come.
That's when the restrictions come into play.
Yeah.
When you are obligated to God. Established means what? To gain full recognition. You know what recognition is? Recognition is to be recognized. Don't you want to be recognized by God? Huh? Don't you want, when you recognize by God, yo, his eyes is on you, man. He's watching you. He's watching you. When you're recognized by God, God guides your feet. He
That's right.
guides you down that godly path.
That's right.
And he would not allow you to slip.
That's right.
He would not allow you to be unwavering.
Even if we have to bang you.
That's right. He
won't
will
allow-
bang
he
you
won't
just to
allow-
keep
just
you in
to keep
line.
you from stripping.
I said, God will bang you just to keep you in line. Time sheet.
Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me.
That they may dwell with me. King David was faithful with God. I said King David was faithful with God.
Very much.
But did he dwell with God while he lived?
No.
No.
Nobody lived.
Go ahead.
He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me.
He that walketh in a perfect way, a complete way, a whole way. A whole person is in his full nature, which includes which includes ways of thinking, ways of feelings, and your actions. The feelings that stirred up in you that you need to correct and tell yourself, I shouldn't feel that way. The type of thinking that comes here that you need to correct that tells me you shouldn't think this way. Let's read.
The man was speaking for God, man.
That's right.
He was speaking for God,
That's right.
man.
That's right. Time sheet.
Verse 7.
Verse 7.
He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house.
He that worketh deceit. Look, man. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that does deceit shall not dwell within my house. Read.
He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight.
A liar will not be firm. In the Hebrew it says a liar will not be firm, prepared, will be undecided. That person cannot serve God. You see what lies does? This is a full-time job to control yourself and take heed to yourself to stop yourself from telling lies. Go ahead, read.
Verse 8.
Uh-huh.
I will early destroy all the wicked of the land,
Uh-huh.
that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord.
Uh-huh. Psalms 119. Got it?
Psalms chapter 119.
Time sheet.
Blessed are the undefiled in the way.
Blessed are the undefiled. Huh? He said, blessed are the undefiled. What is undefiled? Undefiled, it means in the Hebrew, temimeh. Right? It means blessed are the innocent. Blessed are the whole and the complete and the faultless. So when people say, hey, Shalom, I'm blessed. No, you ain't blessed. Are you whole? Are you complete? Like Joshua and Caleb? No, so you ain't blessed. God said, blessed are the ones that are whole and complete and faultless with me. That's when you're blessed. Huh? That's when you're blessed. That's when you're blessed, man. And in Isaiah chapter 66, he said, he that burneth incense is as if he blessed an idol. The word for idol is injustice. Awen. Injustice means lack of fairness, an unjust act. Huh? When you speak good about things that is unjust, huh? When you speak good about unjust things, you have blessed it. You had blessed things that God hate and despise. Go ahead. That's why we got to watch our conversation. Watch what we conversate about. I said, watch what we conversate about, because we talk good about things that God hate and despise. Go ahead.
Who walk in the law of the Lord.
Uh-huh.
Blessed are they that keep his testimonies.
Blessed are they that keep his testimonies. What are the testimonies of God? The Shabbat is a testimony. Huh? The laws of God are testimonies. Huh? Go ahead, read.
And that seek him with the whole heart.
And that seek him with the whole heart. Not halfway. Not undecided. See, the only way we can seek God with a whole heart, we cannot be undecided. We have to, in order to seek God with the whole heart, your mind must be made up. We think our mind is made up. We sitting down here and our minds is not made up because we continue to sin presumptuously before God. We continue to do things and cross that boundary that God done set. God done set a boundary. There's a line there. And the commandments of God tells us not to cross that line. But we, in our stubborn heart, unyielding, full of emotions, we go and cross the line anyway. Regardless. Tom, see?
Verse 3. They also do no iniquity.
They also do no iniquity. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The ones that are blessed, the word for iniquity is awila. Awila means injustice again. Violation of the rights of others. God, reading these laws, tells you your rights. I said the commandments tells you your rights. So when God gives us rights, What was one of the rights? He said, eye for an eye. If you pluck my eye out,
I have the right.
I have the right to pluck your eye out.
That's right.
If you can't accept that, you are unjust and you are not blessed. So what's the opposite of being blessed? Curse. You the one that's cursed. So go ahead, right? Go ahead. Now hold up. It also means wrong. Wrong means not correct or true. The thing that I'm doing and how I'm moving is not correct. Huh? Now, correct means free from error. But you're not correct, which means you're not free from error. All right? In accordance with facts or truth. That's what correct means. You don't agree with facts or the truth. You disagree with the facts because you go against it. Why? Because it's referring to you. See, most of the time, when certain things is referred to you, now you see down. Now you check out how this person is. Conforming to and agreeing with facts. When you are walking in the ways of God, you follow a certain course or procedure that is set up by our forefathers. The course and the procedure that our forefathers set. You know, that's what we're supposed to be reading the book. This is why we read the book, so we can figure out the course and the procedures that our forefathers took and the blueprint that they took and follow it. And follow it, because we're talking about a people that was accepted by God.
Right.
We're talking about a people that had God's attention. They knew what to do to get God's attention. The Most High was strictly against following and doing anything like the other nations. Notice there was never a heathen way of doing it and then our way of doing it.
We don't have a version of it.
We don't have our version. Like New Year's. The heathens got a new year. So Israelites got a new year.
Oh, they're going to say this in the book.
But they're going to say this in the book, and they're going to say that we have 2 secular years. But please, for God's sake, man, please show me with the book. Okay, maybe, let's say they did have a new year. Just speaking.
Show me.
Just speaking, though. I'm just giving an example. Show me where they celebrate.
Show me.
You never heard nothing in there about no Shana Tova.
Right.
And if I don't recognize no damn New Year, I'm not sinning.
That's right.
So this is something that I can do without for the sake of my soul, for the sake of me following after the nations. You can't do without that.
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
We can't do without talking about some New Year.
Man up.
You yearn to be like the heathens. So bad. But that's been our problem from the beginning, and we still got it. It's still our problem. Oh yeah, but we did have a New Year, but show me where they celebrated it.
Yeah, there it is. That's it. Can't argue that one.
That's it.
Can't argue that one.
I didn't read nowhere in here where we celebrated a New Year. So you know what? For the sake of my hide, I'm not celebrating no New Year. You want to go ahead? God gave you got the God-given right to celebrate and acknowledge what the hell you want to celebrate.
That's right.
But as for me and my house, we're going to do what the book says.
That's right.
And if you can show me where Abraham celebrated New Year,
I'll celebrate.
I celebrate it. God said follow Abraham.
That's right.
Show me where Isaac or Jacob did it. As a matter of fact, show me where Moses did it.
That's right. Yeah.
I know they observed the Passover.
Yeah.
I know they observed the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Yeah.
I know they observed the Feast of Booths.
Yeah.
I even know they observed the new moon.
Yeah.
I also know they observed the Yom Teruah,
Yeah.
the Day of the Blacks.
Yeah.
I can run down everything, the appointed times. That's what it means in the Hebrew. Appointed times. appointed seasons.
Not holidays.
Not holidays.
You don't have holidays.
Appointed times that God recognized. What's wrong with us, man?
Right.
I'm sticking to the blueprint, man.
Me too.
I'm sticking to this.
Dominique.
Don't show me no book that contradict this.
Dominique, brother.
Cause I'm gonna rip the book out. I'm gonna put ketchup on the book and I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna start with the hardcover. I'm gonna eat the damn book. I'm gonna eat it, man. Because your books that you're coming up with doesn't coincide with this.
That's right.
Everything I do, I have to show you with this book.
That's
That's
right.
That's the mindset that we need. Everything you do must coincide with the book. And yes, they call it the beginning of months.
That's it.
That's all.
This is when you start counting.
This is when you start counting.
That's what it
They
is.
have to have a beginning of
That's
months.
how it begins.
But I ain't read nothing about the new
And
year.
they say keep it as a memorial.
It ain't say keep it. No. So I was talking to one person. He said the beginning of months. So that means they celebrated the whole month.
Oh,
I wanted to stick my foot so far inside of their rectum.
you go so far now. By not accepting what you read, that's why. That's why.
Yeah.
Show me with the book, man.
Yeah.
Don't bring no other books. Don't bring none of that, man. I don't want to hear it.
That's right.
Another thing I gotta speak on.
Speak on.
In Exodus 12, Leviticus 23, nowhere in the Hebrew speaks about keeping the yoke. You know what keeping the yoke is? Keeping the yoke is grains. Grains. But when you look up the word in Leviticus 23 called toasted, Quali and Carmel. Quali is toasted what? Toasted grains. If you look it up. And we didn't have grains. The grains, look, we had grains, my bad. But the grains, remember now, how are we going to have grains and God burnt it up? The hail came down and burnt it up. In Goshen, we didn't have nothing growing in there. They had to go to Egypt. The Egyptians controlled all that. We didn't have our own farm. We didn't have none of that. So how did we have grains if God summons hail and engulfed around the hail was fire where it destroyed the crops? In Leviticus 23, it says that you could only eat lechem and grains until lechem is regular bread. It ain't said matzot. It said you could only eat lechem and bread until the offering go up. The offering didn't go up until after the 7 days of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So that's why I stay away from grains. And everybody does it differently. Everybody does it differently. Every house, every camp, God is dealing with differently.
That's right.
God deals different with this camp over here. Every camp, God deals different with this one. God deals different with that one. And don't you know there's a sad thing that every camp does things differently?
Right.
And we got one
God,
cotton picking book.
one Lord.
One book. And we can't get it right on one accord.
Right.
One book.
Right.
It's sad, man. Now you see why the Jews, the rabbi, forbid the people to read the Torah. You're going to do what the rabbi said so everybody can be on one accord. And those people is faithful. He said, listen, man, we was speaking to one Jew. The Jew said, listen, I can't read that. I got to go ask my rabbi. I'm not even going to sneak and read
He
it.
said, man,
I'm going to ask rabbi. And what the rabbi said, guess what? They accepted. Ain't that something? That's faithfulness. That's faithfulness. Let's read.
They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways.
Uh-huh.
Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently.
Uh-oh. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. What verse you at?
Oh, man, that was 4.
Uh-huh. Go ahead, read.
5. Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes.
Oh, that my ways was directed to keep your statutes.
Strong desire.
My ways is directed towards God. He's saying, man, you hear me? You hear what King David is talking about? So if your ways is not directed to God, you need to start cleaning it. Start cleaning your ways. Your ways is what God frowning at you. Because the way you is not how you is. How you are as a person, God looks at that. Go ahead, Tom C.
Verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Then shall I not be ashamed.
Then shall I not be ashamed.
When I have respect unto all
No,
thy
the shame.
commandments.
He said, then shall I not be ashamed, embarrassed, or feeling guilt because of
Yes,
one's actions. You know what that means? When I'm not feeling shame, I'm not violating. I ain't got nothing to be ashamed about because I'm not violating God. See, this man had a conscience, man. And if you had a conscience, you will feel ashamed when you violate, when you are at fault. We must feel ashamed of our actions when we are at fault with God, man. So when I violate you, I got to feel shame. I got to be ashamed of that thing. And by me feeling ashamed, I'm going to go make it right. I'm going to seek out that person that I have offended, and I'm going to make it right. I'm going to address it and fix it. Tom C. He said, I will have what? Respect unto all thy commandments. You know what respect means? Huh? Habiti. Habiti means to regard. It means to consider. It means to look. I'm going to consider all your commandments, all your laws. Everything God considers, you must consider. I'm going to keep a watchful eye. Huh? To direct one's attention to be mindful of God. To be mindful of God, and when you're mindful of God, you don't sin presumptuously. I'm in my life, I'm walking, see, one thing about wearing garments and turbans, this is why my father said, hey, he said, all right, if you don't put on a garment, he said, put on a turban. This, and I see it. It has an effect on your mindset. Because I noticed that when I don't have on my garment, my mindset is not towards God. I said, I don't think too much about God and his laws. When I put my robe on, when I go leave my house, put on my garment, when I come outside, different thoughts. You have a different mindset. See, these garments, the word beged come from the root word bagad. Bagad means treachery. The garment will hide your treachery. It holds it in. And it corrals it. But you have to realize and recognize that you got treachery in you, man. Traitors. You got treachery in you. We all got treachery in us. That's why God preserved the book so that we can corral it and correct our ways. Come on, man. Tom C.
I will praise thee with uprightness of heart.
What is an uprightness of heart? An upright heart is just. I said an upright heart, an upright mindset, that person is just. And when you're just, you don't do nothing unjust. I said when you're just before God, you don't do nothing unjust. You won't do nothing unjust. No, I can't do that because that won't be just. No, I'm not going to violate and do this to this brother because that won't be just. You know, the only reason why you consider being just to man is because you're just with God. See, this thing here is deep, man. I gotta be just with God first in order to be just with me. And how do I be just? Justice mean what? Agree with everything.
That's right.
On the same accordance with God. Huh? Just is what? Conscientious, just, scrupulous. Scrupulous means very concerned to avoid doing wrong against God. I may be violated, so I'm not taking no chances. A lot of us take chances. Everybody takes chances with their lives when it's dealing with these laws.
Every day.
You don't know and still do.
Every day.
You don't know and still eat.
Everybody.
Every day.
A conscientious means a feeling of obligation to make right that which was done wrong. You done wronged. You done did wrong with God. You done violated God. You done violated people. Your conscience is going to bug you. You know what that is when your conscience bug you and it rides you? Listen, I'm not going to let the day pass without me going to address this situation. You have a conscience? That's what happens with your conscience.
That's right.
It's going to bug you until the situation is addressed.
That's right.
What does just means? Conforming to a standard of what is correct by God. Agreeing to a standard that God said is correct. Tom Sheep.
I will praise thee with uprightness of heart.
I will praise thee with uprightness of heart.
When I shall have learned thy righteous judgment.
When I shall have learned thy righteous judgments. This is something that we need to learn.
Okay.
We need to learn this.
Okay.
We need to be taught this. Go ahead.
I will keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly.
Oh.
Wherewithal shall a young man.
He said, I will keep thy statutes. This is a deal.
Yeah.
He said, oh Lord God, please don't abandon me. I'm going to keep your statutes. And in return, don't forsake me. Ooh. In return, don't forsake me, oh God. We must make deals with our God. We got to make deals. When we turn towards God and come and make a deal with God, that's what draws God's attention. He said, quick, real quick. He said, oh, Lord, God, listen.
Seriously.
I'm going to do this and this and this. And if I go against that, what I just said, do this and this and this. That's a deal.
Yeah.
Let's read.
Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way?
How can a man clean his ways? The Hebrew word for clean is yizakeh. Yizakeh means what? To attain. How can what? Wherewithal shall a young man obtain God's ways? How can you gain the ways of God?
By taking heed thereto according to thy word.
That's all. All you gotta do is take heed. Take heed to every word that you read here. And you will begin to attain the ways of God. I said you will begin to attain and gain the ways of God. Just look, let's read it.
With my whole heart have I sought thee.
With my whole heart have I sought thee. The word for sought is darash. Darash means to sort or to seek, and it also means to resort. That word resort is deep. We know how to sort and what it means to seek. You inquire it. You ask questions. How you seek and sort? You read. Okay? But the word resort, it means the actions of turning to and adopting. When you are adopting a course of action, you are accepting something foreign to one's nature. I am accepting the fact that my husband can have more than one wife, even though it's foreign to my nature. I had to use that example. That's what God, Lord have mercy, man. Lord have mercy. God is looking for you to accept things that it doesn't sit right within you. Oh my goodness. Because when you do these things, now you're working on your pride. Now you're muffling your pride. I have to use that example because that was one of the main
Everybody
things.
got that, Chief.
Everybody
got that point.
Everybody, that was just a point I'm trying to point out. Okay? Adopting a course of action, especially a disagreeable or undesirable one. Go ahead, read.
With my whole heart have I sought thee. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments.
Don't allow me to stray away. Don't allow me to wander from your laws. Go ahead.
Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee.
Thy word have I hid in my heart. I will remember your laws, so that I don't violate, so that I don't sin against thee. Tom, see?
That I might not sin
Which
against
means,
thee.
he said, to forget is what? To forget is wickedness.
Wickedness.
I said, to forget is wickedness.
I haven't
Where I
wickedly-
get this from?
I have
King David said, I have not
Wickedly
wickedly forgotten thy laws.
Yeah,
So when you forget God, it's wickedness.
that's right.
It's an act of wickedness.
I said, when you forget God, it's wickedness.
That's right.
We don't
Tom,
want
see?
it. Blessed art thou, O Lord. Teach me thy statutes. With my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth. I have
With
rejoiced.
my lips, I have declared all your judgments. This is coming from a man that accepts. When you accept, you're going to run your mouth.
Yes.
You're going to talk. You're going to talk about God.
I have rejoiced in the way of thy
I have
testimony,
rejoiced in the way of thy testimony,
as much as in all riches.
as much as in all riches.
I will meditate in thy precepts.
I will meditate. I will discuss. I will talk of your precepts and have respect unto thy ways.
I will delight myself in thy statutes.
statutes. I will not forget thy words. And with that, I hope everybody has gotten what was bought. And I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom and kavod.
Do we have any questions? Any questions people want to ask? We will have teachings. Teachings will be starting tomorrow morning, Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. And with that, I got what was bought. And I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom and kavod.